Hey guys, how you doing? This is Ryan Date, aka Date Ryan Sama on Twitch and on Twitter. A member of the Hashira podcast where we talk all things anime and nerd. And today we're going to be talking about the hype. Yes, you guessed it. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is an anime based off of Cyberpunk 2077, a game that kind of literally bombed when it was released because of a lot of bugs and T-poses that were happening out of nowhere. But now it's hype again because of this anime, an anime that looks really, really good. And we had to do this because my brother, Goose the Truth, said we had to talk about it. He said that's how much he enjoyed the anime and wanted to talk about it. So since I just said it already, he's with me. I've also got Nobu Nagadano, that's Tommy, and of course the man behind the activity and the ability, that is Ed, and Edwin. And once again, we are the Hashira podcast. We hope that you would like, share, comment, and subscribe so that way you can be part of the conversation and other people can be part of it as well. And we hope that you enjoy this conversation. So, pillars, let's talk about it. I'm going to literally take this basketball and throw it to the Goose because I want to know what he wants to talk about so badly. Here we go. Passing it off.
I first of all,
Yo, before we get started, bro, just want to say the beard's looking pretty dapper right now. Man, just gonna leave that out there. All right, go ahead, Travis.
you're talking about your own beard?
Nah, hell no. Why would I say that about me? I was just talking about everybody in general because everybody seems to be growing their shit right now. So.
I don't want to interrupt you, but my people got the best beards of all time.
Say what?
You, Kanye.
Oh yeah. Let you finish. Go ahead.
That was funny.
I made sure to hit up the chat, and I brought up, and I didn't even know Edgerunner. Well, actually, I remember it escaped my mind that it was a game initially, and I came across it, and I'm like, because I don't mind giving Netflix its chances when it does come up with anime series. We've seen how good what was it? 13 was, which is also, what is it called, Ed? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it B something? Was it?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. The beginning or something like that, but it was really a 13.
Right, beginning, which is like 1-3.
Mm-hmm, yep.
We've seen also another notable one. I just want to make sure we're saying them because I don't want people to come across Netflix and say, "Oh, I'm not watching the anime because of the fact that it's Netflix." Not true. They actually do come out with fairly decent animes, and Edgerunner is not just decent, and it actually was phenomenal when it comes to executing this story correctly. Now, the main protagonist, as we come across, was I believe his name is Daniel Martinez, and David Martinez. For those who haven't seen it already, spoiler alert. Of course, we're going to be getting into it. If you want to watch it, we're encouraging you to watch it. Get the hell out of here right now. Go check it out. We will be spoiling stuff. But the anime pertains to our protagonist, David Martinez. Great name, by the way. When you we're already starting off with an ethnic
He's
anime.
Dominican, right?
From Santo Domingo, right?
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Not Santo Domingo. So since you guys didn't play the game, I got to do this real quick just to help you out. So they're saying that, but that's actually a place in the Cyberpunk game. It's an actual area in there, and that's kind of where that comes from. Go ahead, Trav.
Okay, so but they're still kind of trying to dive in. So the game itself and the anime are like diving into this like ethnic anime world, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I freaking love when animes do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's inclusive. It shows that you can portray people of color in the anime realm correctly. First of all, coloration is just astounding when it comes to the anime. Besides talking about the story itself, we got to see the production and the plot and the story. So I say all that to say this. I wasn't worried. Once I watched the first episode, it was phenomenal, right? We had the intro, which they used Franz Ferdinand as the intro, right? If you don't know the band, it's a pretty phenomenal band. It's well known. It's an American band. Mm-hmm. They use that as the intro, right? and then they continue on to use not only songs from the game,
Yes.
Bro.
also
Don't mean to cut you off, but the soundtrack was so good. Every single song that they chose for every single, like, I guess, instance in whatever you want to call it was amazing. That was like going to be one of my takes when I started to talk about it for sure. But go ahead.
Pertaining to the sound production, it was just phenomenal in general. Even with the effects within the realm itself, like the explosions, the guns, just outstanding work. And then now we're going to talk about the animation itself. Just well done. I mean, granted, yes, it's Netflix. We know they have the money, but it's just like beautiful to see that and know that we have like things to compete with, such as Soul Eater. And we have animations such as Fire
Force.
Right,
Wait. Why are you comparing it to that?
Animation.
Well, animation.
Oh, it's animation. Okay,
How good it looks.
okay.
How good it looks. Yeah.
Yeah. The
'Cause
color.
that's actually like my art. Well, he obviously drew both of those. That's like probably my favorite for as far as like drawn. I think that was amazing.
Yeah. So I'm bringing all these up as the surface level, right? To just to engage those who've already watched it and those who are thinking about watching it. These are reasons why you should actually check out this anime. You don't even have to have played the game to watch the anime. It's just going to be phenomenal on its own. I never played the game. I know Maurice and our brother Michael may have checked it out, but I've never touched it ever in my life. And it's just like from beginning to end, I'm connected to the characters. Every single one of the characters. And I know Maurice is going to touch on this because Maurice likes the side characters. Even the side characters had me engaged. And wanting the best for those, I would say, side protagonists, and disliking the antagonists and being weary of the antagonists. So I'm just gonna stop there and I'll interject whenever anybody else speaks.
Well, I mean, I feel like actually Ed also liked the anime a lot, so I kind of want to hear Ed's take too. And then once Ed goes through that, then I feel like I'll throw out some stuff and we'll jump at it and see how it goes. So Ed, I really want to hear why you liked it so much.
I like the gritty feel of the anime because where this character he came from or whatever, and the people that he gets involved with. So that was one of the things I liked. I felt like the pacing was pretty good. I'm just gonna run through. I ain't gonna get into too much detail, but I felt like the pacing was good. It was 10 episodes. There was a couple. I don't know if there was more than one time skip, but I know there was a little time skip. Nothing felt rushed, and yeah, it was just a really good story to me, man. The animation was good. The audio was good. The side characters, they were all unique, and it was. I just really enjoyed it. I'll get into a little more detail as we go along, but.
Yeah, even the genre itself too. Like we forget about cyberpunk genre, right? Like, and this can go within not only like live action but also anime. If you're a big fan of Akira, there's a reason to check this out. If you were a fan of oh my god, I'm blanking on the movie. Any old school 1980s movies that pertain to like hacking. The Hackers was a movie.
Hackers. I'm about to say Hackers.
Hackers was a movie. That's Cyberpunk. You freaking love that. Like, I enjoy the Cyberpunk world. I think if not mistaken, this is like after World 2, like Fist of the North Star. It's not Cyberpunk Fist of the North Star. It's not Cyberpunk, but it's still like this. What happened after an explosion or the world changed or whatever? So that's what Cyberpunk is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tom. Come on, talk to us. Nobunaga. Come on.
So I enjoyed the anime as well. I would be satisfied if they did not continue with any more seasons. Actually, I think it ended really well, and for people to go out the way that they did, I mean, I wouldn't really care if they did another season. But as a whole, I think this was a great take on what life will be like in the near future for us. I don't think anything that they're doing is impossible. And as far as the main character goes, David, I think he was it was such a good take on that dude because I don't know if we're really going to go into detail now or not, but just him being the person that he was and his psyche the whole time was like an actual person. And when I say that's he kind of stressed the fact that he was special, you know, in a sense, and that's how he was able to, I guess, use what is it called, a Scandavista or Standavista, something like that.
The Sandevistan.
Okay, so when he used that, and you know, he was able to use it for X amount of times, and everybody thought was like, "Yo, that's kind of unreal." I kind of feel like it was just him being like a young guy, and I would think like all of us in our young age would be like, "Yo, I could do all these things. I could drink, I could party, do all this stuff because I'm immortal," you know. And everybody kind of just psychs themselves out. But as he got older and the time kept going on, it's just like it just goes to show like we're not built to do these types of things forever. And it was really just him in the show kind of just telling himself like, "Yo, I'm different." But when in all actuality,
the commentary I think is that when you're young, you don't know your limits. You don't
exactly, and that's what we do. I mean, naturally, I've definitely done it. I'm pretty sure you guys have too. It's just I can do whatever the hell I want. I can drink as much as I want, do whatever kind of drugs, and I'll be cool tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I do like to take that. Like the gore was actually pretty good. I mean, like dudes getting their head blown off. It looked pretty crazy. I love the art style. I love the music. Like I said, was amazing. Like every choice of whatever soundtrack that they used for whatever particular reason was great. And the color, it was real edgy. They displayed like a lot of culture. You know, I feel like that's how things really would be. Like somebody looked into the future and was like, "Yo, I want to animate the future, and this is exactly what it's going to be like." And I kind of like I believe that.
So you watched Blade Runner and you was like, "This is going to happen." Like, have you seen Blade Runner?
No, I have not seen it in its entirety, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Blade Runner is Cyberpunk.
But just from that perspective of the futuristic stuff, maybe like there's some unforeseen thing that happens in the future, maybe like a World War III or something like that, and the world's all messed up, and that's kind of what it was. It was a lawless world, pretty much, to a certain degree, unless you went like berserk. And they had like a police force in a sense, but they didn't really police a lot of things, it seems. And people were doing a lot of things. I mean, obviously, it's just a tech-based world. People are prolonging their lives because the more and more they become cyborgs, the longer they live. And they're interchanging all these parts in their body.
Well, isn't it the opposite? Isn't it the opposite of that though? Isn't it the fact that you upgraded your body is the reason that you were actually shortening your life?
Not true. I don't think so. It's because of those. I don't know the word. It's Scandavista. I'm just going to call it.
Well, the Sandevistan. But that's what Sandevistan was. Everybody had that. I mean, I can speak to it from the game if you like. So based off of the way it works in the game, it's not necessarily how. It's not just upgrading your body which made you get into cyberpsychosis. It was what you put into your body and how much of it you put the strain of your body on that made you go into that downward spiral of losing your mind to the cybernetics that were running in your body at the same time. Because the way it works in the game is, as you notice in the anime, they have a chip that's like located right below the ear. And that is your mainframe into like your neural net, into everything that you are. And the way that the implants work is they have to work with that whole system. So the more those implants are working, they're messing with your brain because there's too much of them taking from your processor to their processor, and it causes you to go crazy. And so in the anime, that's why the more you got that you couldn't handle, it made you go crazy, because it's based off of that kind of like idea from the game. So he'd have been fine if he kept the Sandevistan by itself. The problem was he started adding too much more things while still using the Sandevistan past its limits. And that's where the problem came in for the main character.
Okay, so that's why I was like, I thought this was a godlike name, by the way, the Adam Smasher guy.
You don't even understand how OD Adam Smasher is, bro. You don't even know.
When I heard his name, I was like,
you don't
this
even
guy's
know.
Be a beast. But
you don't even
he's
know.
He's in the game,
bro.
right? He's in the game.
Is he?
He mentioned something about when he was like, I guess towards the end, when he told the main character, like, "Yo, why haven't you gone full cyborg?" or something along those lines. I just figure, like, if you were to interchange those parts, probably with whatever you have going on, then you should be good, because Adam Smasher was a beast. And apparently he's been a legend, and he's still alive for I don't know how long. So
yeah, he's been alive since.
I'm assuming that
all this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm assuming like all these things are happening, or he's able to outlive everyone because he went full on cyborg. And that's how I was like, assuming the more you interchange these parts, the longer you're going to live. And that's just a take on
that's
actual
funny.
reality.
That's funny because you don't know how like close to being completely right you are based off of the way the game storyline is. So, which is kind of funny.
I'm just using this based on like thinking like this is how the future will be in actual life.
Yeah,
and that's why I thought the anime was so good.
But that's just something that Cyberpunk does in general. They play with the future thought, like how the future may be. I mean, like I said,
but we've seen this in many instances, and it's just like, to me, this is like one of the most believable types of deals because they have like chip implants and stuff like that. And why wouldn't everybody like at some point with things being the way that they are, they want everyone to be interconnected in a certain way.
Well, I mean, as opposed to
there's so much ease of access. Like the dude he just starts talking, and all of a sudden he's on the phone in his own head with someone. I mean, I feel like at some point that may be a thing.
But as opposed to what, RoboCop, as opposed to Total Recall. That's what I'm saying. Like at any time, like I feel like I don't even know if that genre is even that difficult because you can make up any type of future, right? Like I just feel like you can make
that. That applies to so many things, though. I'm just saying this one is the most. And I'm not gonna take that back. Just it's a very believable.
Okay. Because when you say the most, that's why I'm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say like this is the one. Like it has to be this way or it will be this way. I'm just gonna say it's very, very believable.
Yeah.
Especially the way like technology is going nowadays. Like I get what you're saying.
They're embedding chips in people now. I'm just like, why aren't they gonna further the functionality of these things to a certain point where you don't even need your phone anymore? You don't need to carry that trash. I mean,
but again, that's the beauty of. And I keep saying the same thing. That's the beauty of Cyberpunk is that it always touches on the future. Like any of these things can possibly happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I said when I bring up like even live action, like iRobot is Cyberpunk. You know, so I think in terms of believability, and this is why I think Akira gets so much praise because it was like, what was it made? Maurice, do you know like 1980 something or something? Like
80s, 90s, that 80s, 90s kind of.
Like doing something like that, playing around with that idea in such a time period is phenomenal to me. And then doing a Cyberpunk in the future, like now it being, but that game came out 2018?
Game is that old?
No, I think it was didn't it come out pandemic or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say maybe like.
So coming up with that idea like during this time period, like 2022, 2021, and it's like, oh, we thought we would have already been here where we were talking about Akira and Total. Oh, you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah.
So now we keep pushing the cursor forward. Like, okay, so if it's not 2023, then it's got to be maybe 2049, because I think in Akira that's when the year was set. I think it was the anniversary just recently came around where it said 2020. We're fine now. So they keep pushing the cursor forward.
Every time they push it back, it's kind of.
I think that's happened in a few cases. I think I'm not sure when the Jetsons was set. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Very similar case. You know.
Jetsons another one. Yeah. So that's
obviously there's so many people that played with the idea of the future of our own reality, but once again, as I'm repeating myself, I feel like these guys hit the target. Pretty close.
Nail on the head, yeah. Kind of got
would you say more than Akira? Would you say
Akira was a little wild as far as like the mecha? Like they had a lot of. I don't know. I would say this is above Akira in terms of reaching what our potential future can be.
I mean, wow. I guess I and listen, call me an optimist, call me a sucker, call me whatever you want to call me. But the thing with Cyberpunk, even the video game that gets me, is it's too guttural. Like, everybody in the game and in the world is complete and utter jerks. Every single person. Like, that's crazy for that to be, like, everybody is that bad. Everybody? Like, come on. I was like, it was unrealistic to me. Like, everybody literally cannot be a jerk 24/7, all the time. Like, that is ridiculous.
So,
and even in the game, it's like that. It's so weird. Like, but
that might be somewhat believable, because I'm only going to say this because... If you think about it, like people are changing their bodies in different ways and every other appearances and all that ways to make them the best version of themselves physically in their own mind to be everyone. So I would think like everybody at that point would have some type of ego, because you're just like, yo, I look as best as possible and all that stuff. Like everybody's probably like
Yeah, but
feeling
but
themselves.
everybody, even the people that didn't have the stuff to be nice, they were also just jerks too. Like everybody in this universe is always the worst person by far. Like in the game, there are literally like 4 people who are not like that, and 4 is probably an understatement. It's probably more than that, but I'm just saying, based off of a lot of that stuff, it comes up like that. Now, what I do want to add in about the anime itself is one thing that I appreciate, and Ed and Edwin said this about this for the Tekken anime. I enjoy the fact that a lot of the game ideas are prevalent in the anime. I love the slang. Like as a person who played the game, when I heard them say "choom," I got really hyped. I was like, "Oh, choom, my choomba, what's up?" You know, when they say we got a delta, it means we got to go, right? Delete it, right? Get rid of it. Like a lot of that stuff came straight from the game, and I love the way that they brought that into the anime. It made me feel so much closer to what was going on because I played the game and knew the slang. So I was just like, "Yo, that's really cool." So that's one thing I wanted to add about that. I thought that was really cool. Not only that, the way that they made a lot of those things look in the anime is very cool too. So the whole cyberpsychosis thing with the eyes, I thought that was a cool way to highlight what was going on with these people. Not only that, I like the way that they kind of gave you, right, very unique, right? And it gave you, and I love the way it kind of goes into their mind, because you kind of wonder in the game, what are cyber psychos really thinking when they start attacking you? And I love how in the anime they showed you their psyche, right? Like they showed a whole different situation happening in Main's mind, right?
Yeah.
When he was going crazy, as opposed to what was going on in real life, and I thought that was absolutely wild. That was cool.
When Main died, I was like,
"Oh,
God.
I was take.
Do you guys feel like, because I love the anime, right? And I feel the reason I love the anime is because the story's cool, the characters are chill, the plot is chill. Well, the plot is good.
Boss, it ain't chill.
But there's something about it can't be. This wasn't meant to be long term, and I think they did it. They executed that well with the way David reacted to his mother dying. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not this feel, of course, of revenge. It's more like, yo, we were born. We were born in poverty, so therefore, my mother dying. Oh God! She got cremated. He took the ashes to the house.
Yeah, that was wild.
And he was trying to find work. That was crazy to me. Like this is
wild.
He was so young too.
Yeah, no, that was
fall
crazy.
into where.
Do we even feel like he was feeling anything? Was he not meant to feel anything? Like, is that just like for the story just to keep going? We're like,
No, but he felt something, obviously, right? But like you said, Travis, because he's from the hood, because of where he's from, he knew he couldn't stop just because she was gone. Like, he obviously felt something. That's why he kept staring at the urn. Remember, even towards the end of the anime, the urn stayed right next to him, right?
Yeah,
but like,
I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
it was,
yes,
every
he
time
always
like,
kept
at
it.
home, they always
with the
showed
picture,
the
right?
urn every
Yes,
time
sir.
The dude's sitting there butt ass naked, big as fuck. Dude just got bronc as hell. And it's not like he worked out. He just made mad attachments.
That's a good one right there. I want to speak to that too real quick. I also want to say this. I thought it was amazing of how they described what you needed to do to get these abilities. So in the game, right, you have to level up your strength in order to get certain implants. He had to work out. Remember, he had to work out, do his push-ups, go jogging, go running to be strong enough to get the implants in his body. That to me was really cool. Like, he was growing his strength stat in order to get these implants in the anime the same way you have to do it in the game. And I was like, wow, that is cool. I couldn't front on that. That was really dope. So,
that's right. There was a period in time where they were like, he was getting trained like for combat.
Yeah, he was running and all that stuff, and I
forgot about that.
It was that was really.
But then
cool.
the time skip came, and he was huge.
Well, remember, because he had to be big enough to get the arms.
Butt ass naked in his house.
Yeah, but remember, Maine said it. Maine was like, in order to put my arms on, you probably going to need
you
a
need
little
to
bit
put some
bigger.
weight on.
So he worked out until he could get the arms on, and I thought that was really cool.
I don't know why I found that so funny though. They just showed him the view from behind him. He was just sitting butt naked in his house. That's all he did in his house the whole time.
So, like, I mean,
I just thought that was so funny.
He was thinking while he was watching the TV. So like, and I think that was actually a very important part. And me and Ed kind of had.
Well, it kind of showed that he was losing his mind little by little.
Yeah, but me and Ed were talking about this like earlier, and it was about like how after the time skip, his mindset was very different. And I actually want to ask Travis about this because that bothered me. After the time skip, I hated David. I absolutely hated him as a character so badly.
Smoke.
I could not stand him.
Oh wow.
Hey, so I just like it bothered me a lot, and I couldn't get like it just irked my entire nerves. So
Before I can even talk to you, like what bothered you specifically?
like he was doing a lot of things that were just super backwards. Like, oh, I saw all these people die from all these things, so I'm gonna do the exact same thing and put everybody who I'm with at danger and at risk for the things that I want to do that don't make sense. And I was just like, why would you do that? So it was hard for me to watch it. I was just like, yo, bro, why are you doing this? All these people. And Rebecca said it to him. Rebecca was like, yo, I put my life in your hands every day because I trust you. And he just like was still like, oh, I'm gonna just keep doing dumb stuff anyway. I'm like, what the freak? Like, why does Rebecca's life not matter? Why do these people's lives not matter? And then he said, I'm gonna make sure everybody's gonna be okay. No, you're not. You're not gonna do that. I just felt
like he always had. I just feel like he had a lot of confidence, and he knew that, like Tom said earlier, he was doing things that people couldn't do. He was using that ability that they said should only be done twice in a day. His first time he put it on, he was like 10 times. And now he has, what's his name's arms. He's a lot bigger. He's stronger.
But he was also dealing with cyberpsychosis.
Well, not yet. But right in the beginning of the time skip, when they went and did that mission, he went and fought that guy, and it was just like the level of confidence he came in with. Mm-hmm. And when they came into that compound or whatever, it was ridiculous with the amount of people in there. And that main guy at the end, like, it wasn't even a challenge. Like,
I wouldn't even be surprised if he was like putting them in these dangerous situations just so he can save them, to make them feel like they're doing something. Because he was so good from when he first, like I said, when he first got that ability.
That's a dangerous type of person that thinks like that.
Exactly.
I think I'm gonna contest everything that everyone's saying. I think what was happening was, I think the reason I'm contesting is because I don't think any one person's correct. I think we're all correct. True. I think we're all correct, and then when we put all that together, it makes the one person saying what their one person saying is incorrect. And what I mean by that is if he's trying to show that he is good, he does got you. You don't have to worry about your life. Like Tommy just ended with his sentence, it made him dangerous because he's still that young guy who lost his mom, lost the leader who was his father figure.
Mm-hmm. Right, I was just about to touch on that on Maine. Right. Like, everything did change when Maine died. Like, he was willing to throw his life away to die with Maine. And once that happened, obviously there was a time skip, but his whole demeanor did change. And he took up the reins to be the leader. He decided, like, immediately he was the leader, and he decided, like, what jobs they go on, what they're doing, and he expected everybody to follow him. I mean,
right. But the step up was it was one that was a pompous one. It was one that was an ignorant one, and that's the reason why it's the reason why we still have a child who we're following into battle at the end of the day, where he seems like he has it all together. I think the psychosis of it all, that's the beauty of it, shows that he never had it together, even when he was holding the arms. Before he even implanted them.
Oh, no, bro. I think everybody should know that he never had it together.
No, I knew that already. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I never had confidence in him being like a leader. I just always thought he was just really good. So
he was just a kid that had an insane ability that was coming into, and he was able to just do his thing because of that speed ability. Like, that's what gave him the utmost confidence. Yeah, and it's just like him taking over. It's like, who else would have took over?
Yeah,
Everybody blindly just decided to follow him.
Right. Right. I mean, and even the confidence is blanketed bullcrap, if we think about it.
Yeah,
right?
a ton of it. Ton of
bullcrap.
It's blanketed by what, though?
It's the fact that he already was thinking that he was different. I think this is the commentary was even showing you're not different. You're not.
No, exactly. But that's why I touched on, like, real life people. This is what we tell ourselves. Like, yo, I can drink this whole fifth right now and I'll be good tomorrow because I'm only 21. And it's just like, this stuff's not gonna catch up with me until I'm like fucking 40 or something like that.
But it's 50-50 though, because if you mentally tell yourself you're special, you can be special. Even though we know the outcome of what happens to him, he still was, in a sense, special because he pushed the limits that anybody would ever push.
Oh, okay, I was about to say.
But I think it was just because he was young and he just started on it,
It's 50-50. Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like, yo, I could smoke like 4 packs of cigarettes because I'm 21 and it's not, versus me smoking at 40, it'd be a lot different, Just I'm just saying.
But what's our comparison to him doing what he did? Like everybody was like, "Yo, like how did you just do that?" The fact that he was young
and wanted,
didn't have like, did he have any type of modifications before that one big one, the San de Vista?
Nope.
That's what I'm saying. So he puts this one item in that's military grade that I don't think it was for Maine, right?
Yeah,
right. Yeah, he was the one who bought it off.
Was the main guy,
mom.
but he's but like Maine looked like a very like capable guy to like if I hook this shit up, I'm gonna be good. So for the fact that this is for like their big guy in the group, that this dude David had to wait years maybe
that would be
before
insane.
he put his arms on. So like if the thing is for him, and then here I come, some noob, and I just put this joint on, it's like, oh, now I'm just vibing out and I'm doing it 10 times a day versus someone who's supposed to only do it. Like I think Maine was expecting to only use it twice a day.
Yeah, twice a day.
And like I said, he's pretty basically a veteran in this in this modification. So I mean, I don't know. I kind of it's hard to agree to.
Well, they wanted
him.
You remember they wanted him, right? They was trying to get him. They wanted him because they was like, wait, why is this kid being able to use this gear?
Yeah.
They wanted him. Like they were trying to abduct him to use him to even study the reasons why. So in a sense, there was something special about
it. I think that's kind of not messed up, but I'm not gonna take that away from him. He definitely was main character plot hack special.
Right.
But to a certain degree, it wasn't like ridiculous.
Yeah, no, definitely it wasn't ridiculous.
But that's the thing. The show was trying to make it still believable, which is beautiful. Like this is where my gripe comes in, because I have a gripe. I don't like it when an anime decides to go serious and they do a beautiful job, you execute it well, and you can still give me what I want, but you don't, because you feel like if it's serious, somebody has to die, and that somebody is the main character of the game. I don't like that.
I was actually okay with the dude dying at the end.
I'm not. I'm tired of it. Every single time it's a serious anime, the main character's gone, and I can't like give me the main character.
You got to drive home that pain and suffering, man. Like that's literally that's like all that kid knew, if you think about it, because he was super smart, but he was in that school that he didn't want to be in. His mother wanted him to just, fit the fuck.
A shame.
Wanting to be another freaking cog in the wheel, whatever the saying is, that he's just a person that's just basic. And then, and then she just dies in front of him. Like, what do you want to do? He literally had nothing. Lucky that he met this group. He lucky.
Go to the moon with Lucy. Go to the moon with Lucy.
Thank you, Travis.
But like, all right. So now I'm.
He was there, bro, in spirit. She had him, at the end of the story.
Like, so me and Dante was talking beforehand, and I honestly think he sacrificed himself at the end. Sorry for the spoiler alert, chat, but because he probably viewed not viewed her as his mother, but like this was his chance to get his revenge to not let the woman that he loves in his life die. You know what I'm saying? So like, I wasn't too mad at it. Like, no, I was mad at it because I mean, obviously I didn't feel his pain, but like throughout the whole show, I wanted this kid to win. That's probably why I like the show so much, because like I wasn't pissed, but I was pissed that I was pissed too that he died. I was like, damn, like this kid had to die. This was seriously the one character in the show that, like I said, I feel like he had nothing going for him but this new situation where he finally gets, like, oh, I'm shining here. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, my mom wants me to go work at this company, become the top, and that's why when he gets into that situation where he kind of like takes him down, he's like, look, Ma, I finally made it. And I knew they were gonna do that too, because shows love to do that, where they're like, yeah, I made it, but not in like the traditional sense where like I'm the man of this company. Like, nah, I'm at the top of this company because I'm about to tear this shit down.
And that shit bothers me, man. All right, so in correlation, I'm forgetting the name of the other anime that you favored, Ed. Oh yes, Akame got killed.
Yep, I knew he was gonna go there.
Yeah,
I saw it coming. Saw it coming.
It's just like, yo, they don't have to die. Like I just don't feel like it's. And granted, we're not talking about the manga. We're talking about the anime, because the manga, he does live and Akame got killed. But spoiler alert again.
Oh yeah, you said in the manga he lives, right?
Lives. In the manga.
I keep forgetting about that.
What bothers me is this cinematic thing that where since it's cinema. Because it often happens like that. If it's manga, majority of the time the cat lives. If it's cinema, if it's on TV, we gotta dramatize the shit out of it. And how do we do that? Make the main character die. They did that with Akame got killed. They did that with Edgerunners. They did that with the Seven Samurai. They keep doing that, and it's like, yo.
But hold
I'm
on,
still
with Death Note?
but that's because you got the people like me though. Like I said before on the Hot Takes episode, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, amazing show. I watched it but like at the end of it, it was just like okay.
Don't start
they,
this.
they
Don't
they
you
fulfilled
start this.
everything.
Don't you start
The
this
story's
right now.
done.
Don't you start
Congratulations,
this right
guys. And it's just like, good job. Like I feel like when you that loss, it's just like, like, damn, because you don't have the like I said, I wanted to see David win. I wanted to see him break that cycle.
Right.
I really wanted it. Like I watched the show at the end. I was sitting there stuck. Like, damn, man. Like he really had to. Like, did he have to die? He had all these
stronger. You feel
Huh?
it's stronger when you want him to live, but he dies. You feel like it's stronger?
I mean, depending on the situation, but for the most part, yeah. Because like I said, for me watching Brotherhood, if one of them would have died, I think that ending would have been way more impactful. And if people would have been like, "This is like top 2," I wouldn't have agreed, but I wouldn't have argued it because I'm like, yeah, like that's pretty. It's rough to see that. It's not, what I'm saying, fairy tale ending where, we save everybody and then now just end the story of the show. I mean, there's other animes that have ended in that way where it's like save everybody, like. I want to bring this up, but I don't want to bring it because we want to spoil. But if my boy Eren, I don't know what happens to him at the end, but I don't want to see him dead. If he dies, I'm gonna be pissed. But if he dies, it is what it is. If he finds a way to get out of the situation alive, I'd be happy, even if it's corny. I'd be happy because I don't want to see my boy die.
And with me even knowing the ending, it's just there's so much conviction in that show. It's just like it is what it is.
I don't want. So David was on. He was on that track. Like it's like I said, he went through so much things, and I felt like damn, let this kid get out of this, man.
I believe you, Ed, and I think it sucked that he died because when I did see him die, especially the way that he died, I feel like he should have put up a better fight against Adam King Smasher. But
Nah, he wasn't. That's why, and I already knew that was gonna be. That was a problem.
Yo, it was so bad at that point because I was like, yo, he put on the cyber skeleton and did all this shit, and then he just gets. It was just no.
It was too late
contest.
for him. Like the cyber
He
psychosis
fucked
was doing
him
too
up
much.
so bad. Well, at the end, but Adam
like
Smasher was like, "Yeah, you could have been somebody," in a sense when he said that to him. And then he just fucking, he's like, "Nah, fuck it, kill me," and then boom, killed him. But
even when they drop off other characters though, like Rebecca dying.
Don't do that. I'm gonna get tight, Travis. Now I need you to go. Don't bring up Rebecca dying, bro. I was mad.
Who's Rebecca?
The whole time.
Is that a little girl?
Yes. The whole time I watched the
Adam
anime.
Smasher smashed her. It was over.
Listen, the whole time I was watching the anime with my brother, I was like, yo, if Rebecca dies, we riot. If she dies, we riot. Like, we literally riot when Rebecca dies. And then
man, blame.
I knew it was going to happen that way, unfortunately.
Blame stupid ass Kiwi, man. She was back there sneaking this. Come
Kiwi
on,
was,
man.
Kiwi was the
murk, bro. Like,
Kiwi
she didn't even get away.
Kiwi was
she stuck true to everything that she believed though.
She was sneaky.
Nah.
Exactly, Ryosuke Hero in the chat.
I don't
F
think so.
Kiwi.
I can't agree with it.
She flipped on everybody, even though she shouldn't have. But she always held on to the notion to not trust anybody. She was just stupid enough to go back to what's his name, Faraday. And she got popped by a dumpster like a piece of trash.
Yo, seriously, like that's what I'm saying. Like, look at how she ended. She ended up. I forgot who she called, but didn't she call one of them and like, yo, like this is what's gonna happen or something? She
yeah.
like make up.
She was on the phone. She got popped
with?
over the phone, bro.
Yeah, like why'd you even do it then? You went through the whole thing and now at the end you like, oh shoot, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
And she was too stupid to trust the dude with the three eyes. I think that was Faraday.
Faraday.
So what?
Yeah. So now you say that, yeah.
And she still trusted somebody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All for money to get out of that area because he would not pay her until she came and saw him. She did not. She did in a different type of way than she expected. But
we got two characters surviving. We have Lucy and the driver. Well, I forgot the driver.
Falco the Beast.
Falco. He was a real deal.
He's too cool, man. Come on.
Falco, man, beast.
No, I'm not upset about it. I'm just like, it's just like one of those things where you've killed characters and cool. Like when we lost Maine, fine. When we lost Dorio, okay.
Dorio, that was her name.
Yeah.
The big brolic chick.
Yeah, that was Maine girl.
You get what I'm saying? Like if we would have had Falco, Dorio, and Rebecca live, that would have.
Dorio was. Well, we didn't even get much from her.
Dorio dying is fine because she died with her man, like whatever. But if Rebecca would have lived, I just feel like, and I'm not just talking about Edgerunner, I'm talking about animes. Like for whatever reason, whenever somebody like dies, Like make two people die this in like a gunfire. Don't make it separated because like that person just died in a certain way and now this person did. Like now I'm like, all right, so everybody, I'm gonna just be waiting for somebody to die. I'm just waiting. Akame got killed is the same way. I'm just waiting for people. Like I'm just waiting now to see how somebody else is gonna die next. That's what you're doing to me. Like do it in a way where it's
meaningful
or believable.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but you had this one dude come through, and this dude is fucking next level. Like you already know he's about to tear everybody up. So of course people are just gonna be dying like right at one after another, and that's exactly what he did. That's what they brought this man in.
Yo, seriously, you gotta show how ruthless this dude is, man. Like this ain't no meaningful death. You just dead when I'm.
They said he was a legend because he tore down a bunch of people by himself.
I just feel like I'm being desensitized to meaningful deaths because of the fact that
I get you. Her death was not that meaningful.
Even
as opposed to like Main and Dorio.
Have you seen Seven Samurai?
That was years ago.
That's exactly. But that's another one where it's just like periodic.
I don't remember the story like that. That's what I'm saying.
Samurai 7, right? Yeah.
Samurai 7. Yeah. It's just like it's one of those things where like, all right, we've given you like 8 characters. Watch this, like 6 of them die, and one of them like
6 of them die.
Nah, I felt that, but
I don't.
What I want to say when Ed said this earlier. Like, even if he was sacrificing himself to save the one woman that he loved in his life, I don't disagree with that. But he put himself in a position to have to do that in the way that he did. It didn't have to go that way. And that's why I was upset. I was like, he only had to do it after he was put in, like we were talking about this earlier, he was in checkmate. It was like, he knew Faraday was tricking him because he knew that she would never say that on the phone call. He also knew that because of the phone call, she was in danger and he had to save her. So that was checkmate at that point. He wasn't in checkmate before that point. He put himself there. And I was like, he didn't have to sacrifice himself because of how good he was before, but kept putting the implants in him even though the cyberpsychosis was getting worse, and he knew it was getting worse. So he literally made a decision to follow in the absolute negative decisions that Main made in order to be the same thing. And it's only because he didn't want to live. And I think the problem with the anime is that, not even the problem with anime, the thing is, he knew he didn't want to live. And he then pushed forward in a way in which he would die in order for someone to get something that they wanted. And he only cared about that because he didn't think he deserved to live because of where he came from. And that was my issue. Time. And it hurt me so much because even though he kept saying he was special, he knew he was special to a point, which is why he knew he was going to die. Like, he knew it.
Ooh, say that one more time. Wait. Say that one more time? He knew he was what?
He was special to a point. Like, he knew it.
That shit is, that's a bar. That's a bar.
He knew it.
He was special, but he was special to a point.
He knew it. And he lived out the rest of it. He lived out the rest of his life knowing that he was going to die. He knew it. That's what he was trying to do. Like, he was like, I'm going to die and I don't care.
He knew that he was specifically going to die, but...
No, he did. You know why he knew? No, you know why he knew? You know why he knew? Because he literally brought all the rest of the vials he had left, and the Ripper Doc told him he was going to die if he didn't stop, and he kept doing it anyway. He knew he was going to die.
Yeah, but I think this all came upon him understanding that he was like showing signs of the cyber psychosis.
Yep.
So he's just like...
So once
he's just like, yo, it's only...
But he chose not to. He chose not to because he literally went forward believing that. But
that's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily I'm gonna die, but it's just that I'm gonna lose my mind completely, and it's just I'm done.
No,
so it's just like
why not? He said, once I lose my mind, you gotta kill me. That's what he asked Rebecca. She knew already because he said it. He knew he was going to die because he kept. Could
this chick really kill him though?
Yes.
Yes, she could.
But I think that's why he went and died like that. Like, I'd rather die a martyr than have these people see me just go nuts.
Yeah, but he didn't have to go nuts. He forced himself to go nuts. That's what my problem is. He didn't have to. He took that route on his own. That was the choice he made, and he didn't have to make that choice. It was stupid.
All in all, the writer made it for us to love the character and not want the character to do a dumb thing like that.
Yeah, I hated him so much. Travis, after the time skip, I was so mad at him. Like, the rest of the anime, I was tight. Every time he did something, I was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing everything opposite of everything you've been taught? Why are you doing this? Why are we going down this road? And my brother said it to me like this, and I'm going to share it on the camera because he literally told me this. He said, you have to think it from the angle that the writer wanted you to understand that sometimes you can't break cycles in generations. And that's literally what Mike said to me. And he wasn't wrong.
Yeah,
that's what happened. That's what it was written as. And I was tight. I was like, come on, man.
That goes with the bar you were saying. He was special, but special to a point.
Yeah.
You can take him out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of him.
It hurt me, bro. It hurt me.
And I also think that's the play on...
I think it hurts because my bad. I think it hurts because of the fact that we connect with the character, us being from the Bronx. Like, I think that's It's a beautiful, like
100%.
I think that's exactly what it is. It's a beautiful, and that's why the anime is so amazing. We want him to win because we want to win. You feel me? So
that's 100% true, man. I live in a more suburban area, but I still lock all my doors at the end of the night, bro.
Now, to add to the joint about what's her name, Rebecca dying, I kind of feel like they did give it like a little bit of like a meaningful death because, like we said, him and her, David and Rebecca, had that little moment where, you know, you're gonna shoot and kill me. And then she tells him or whatever, when she told him, like, you know, I'm risking my life. I risk my life all the time for you. And what happens? They both get murked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I give you that. That's good, Ed. That's good.
So yeah, so like that right there, like even though her death, like the actual death might have not been meaningless, but like I'm here. I'm ride or die. Whether you
she was in love with him too. She was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whether
she was.
I'm
gonna touch on that in a second. Go ahead. I got. Yeah.
And that's why, like like I guess he knew he was. I don't think he really went there with the intentions to die, but when that time came, he said, I'm gonna do it because, like I said, he didn't want to hurt, especially he didn't want to hurt Lucy and them. So he's like, all right, let me just die here. He's gonna take all these vows and do whatever he has to do because he wants this final. I want to go out with a bang. I know I'm reaching my limit, and if I don't take these, you know, stuff with me, I'm just gonna go crazy right there, and I could potentially, you know, hurt. I don't want this girl to kill me, but if it gets here, kill me. So now, when it gets to the point where this dude Smasher comes in, Rebecca's dead. Sucks, but she, you know, that was her meaningful death. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die for you. I'm out here with you. I'm hanging and banging, whatever. So that's why, like, when you say that, oh, you know, he went there knowing he was gonna die, and it's kind of stupid. Yeah, when you look at it that way, I guess you could say that. But the way I saw it was just that. Like, I want to go. I just want to die on my shield. I'm not gonna let the psychosis be the one to kill me.
No, but the thing is, again,
I agree with you.
I'm gonna inject myself.
No, but that's after
do whatever
the
I
point.
have to do.
But that's after the thing. When at that moment, you're correct, 100%. I'm talking about before that. When he goes to the Ripper Doc and he tells him, don't stop doing this, and Lucy goes, yo, stop putting more in your body, slow down. He would have been fine. The doctor literally said, if you slow down, we can fix this. Literally told him to his face, and he decided not to do it. He chose not to do it in the Ripper Doc's office before the mission. This is before everything.
Because I think it was.
That's what I'm saying. He decided he was going to die already. He was like, yo,
but his
I'm gonna keep doing it no
personality.
matter what.
That's what I'm saying. What is he gonna do though? How is he gonna fulfill whatever this kid had a huge hole inside of him, yo, and he needs to find a way to fill it.
But
like I said, he lost his mother in the first episode. Now he has nothing.
Yeah, but that's him fulfilling the cycle.
Damn, man, that's some real ass shit right there.
That's what,
yeah.
but that's what
and it's like
him
at the end, he kind of
y'all dropping balls in here, Mo and Ed.
Yeah, like it's not a right or wrong. It's just a point of view.
That's true though, because he
Discussion.
actually pushed past
good.
all these people and eliminated a lot of variables that could potentially stop Lucy from doing what it is that she wanted to do.
Yeah.
And at the end of everything, when it's all said and done, she was free to go and free to do whatever.
And
All those guys,
Be mad at her.
those top whatever that company guy, whatever you want to call it, Faraday and all these other clowns, they were all gone. And there's nothing that anybody else could do because they saw that she was a top edge runner. She was way better than Kiwi was, and she was their edge runner the whole time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Not everybody's out of the equation. She's free to go and live her life and live her own dream.
And don't forget that not only she already professed to David that like I'm not worth anything, and he's like, no, you're worth it.
No, he's like, I love you. He loved her. He definitely loved her.
You remember
he wanted to see her become.
It was that one scene where she finally told him where she wanted to go and how
right where they left the town or whatever like that. They're in the outskirts of the town, and she told him whatever like about her past.
I'm not worth anything or stuff like that. And like he was like, I'm gonna make your dream come true. Basically, like one of us is gonna make it out of here. He already made it seem like, yo, one of us is gonna make it out of here. It's gonna be you.
Yeah.
One of us is gonna make it out, and it's gonna be you that's gonna make it out.
You're the one that actually has like some dream for the future.
The dream.
Yeah, but I mean, and honestly, unfortunately, it was at that moment that I knew David was fitting to die. Because one, David started acting like he was going to die. Number one, and number two, because Lucy said this out her mouth, and I think it was
I think that was a point where he decided that he was not living his life for himself anymore because he wanted to just make money.
He figured out he was the cycle.
No, but Lucy said, stop trying to make other people's dreams come true. When are you gonna find your own? Boom. That's when it was. When I was like, he's gonna die. I was like, he's gonna die. I was like, he's gonna die right here.
You can't stop a man who's blindly in love, yo. It doesn't matter. He's gonna do what he wants to do when he's in love.
We gotta remember also the kid never mourned. He never really mourned.
No, and that's another thing too.
Never really cried over his mother.
Or Maine, by the way. He cried
Or
for Maine,
Maine.
but he didn't really mourn over Maine. Yeah.
He didn't mourn. So that's why the time skip, it looks, honestly, him sitting and slouching on the chair naked as Tommy was
That's
talking.
him figuring it out.
Yo, stop.
It makes
What the? Why would they do that?
He's
It
not
does.
all in. He's
Not
not,
at all.
in.
Well,
and
just to blank
again,
out in front of the
for
screen
you-
and never go to sleep.
And
was
for you,
definitely-
Trav, to say that is also very important because that's kind of the purpose of the writer giving him cyberpsychosis at a point where we already knew he wasn't all there because of the mourning he hadn't been able to do. That's why him getting cyberpsychosis was happening. But then it just hurt me that when he had a way out and a way to fix it and somebody who was willing to go through it with him, he decided not to do it, especially because it was the person that he loved. So instead of making a decision to go through it with somebody and to fix it with that person who wanted to help you fix it, it was like, nah, screw it. It's got to be the way I want to do it. I'm going to save you the way I want to instead of let's do it together. And that was, again, Travis already said this, but I got to repeat it again because he's still a young, selfish child trying to act as an adult running a group of people and was
But
not
there was
mature
there was
enough
no
to
fixing
do
it
so.
after his mom died.
So
Yeah, pretty much.
Right,
There was no
especially
fixing it.
Maine.
And that's the reason why, even though we want these things to happen, it's a beautiful anime because because we understand those variables. Being a child, losing your mother, losing your only father figure, you know, and having this group of people, finding a woman who takes your virginity and falling in love with her and wanting her dream, all of that in one, taking on the burdens was not meant for this. I think he's like
Not even that. It's just coming
He was
from
in high school, right?
coming from an environment that's ain't shit, you know.
where you was
Every morning he had the same routine. He would come off the staircase, jump up into that pile
To
of
the
trash,
garbage. Yeah.
start walking and seeing these. I just thought it was weird that they had that these dudes that
born
were
to
like
lose, born to lose.
crackheads on the side of the road with these weird devices on themselves.
BDs, brain dances. That's what they are. You play the game, you know.
Born to lose, bro. Born to lose.
Yeah,
It was a phenomenal. I guess like I said, my gripe is still that it's still gonna be that gripe. I want to see where make the dude win, man. I want to feel like I'm gonna win. Like I think it's when my empathy and my sympathy and my connection, all three of these things are happening, and then you just like say, and that's like, yo, what? Oh!
he was a good dude, man. He was a good dude from
Like,
from
what?
beginning to end.
Yeah.
Hey, that dude, don't even have him be a person
But
of
they-
color. If anything, like, damn, you got me.
Here, what?
Shit.
So if he, I'm not even gonna go there with you. They gave him a reason to live, and he stuck with it, man. He found something that was important to him because his mom wasn't there anymore. He wasn't there to try to make her proud. She gave him that sense of maturity, and she taught him a lot of things. I mean, she put him up in the game to, honestly. And he found somebody that he really had feelings for, and that was like the only person. So why not want to make them prosper, even at the cost of your own life?
I know we're getting closer to the end part.
Yes, sir.
One person I noticed we have not really talked too much about.
Was Lucy?
Do we feel like
Yeah.
she's not that? Was she kind of like black? You know what I'm saying? She was kind of black to me. I mean, I liked her because
She was.
but
I
she
can do
really-
I can do the quick thing real quick, right? I can do it real quick. All right. So the thing with Lucy is, to me, well, first off, let's talk about Lucy as a whole. Lucy is someone who came up from, that whole the anime angle of experimental child turned extremely great and volatile and free in the world, and she can do a lot that other people can't do, which is wild. The thing about Lucy, though, that gets me upset is because of who she is, it's hard for me to link with her because of everything she's already been given, per se, and everything she's willing to take, and then everything she's willing to take again from our main character. Now, to say that, I just want to say this. She only takes on certain ideas and ideologies from Kiwi, right? About not trusting anyone and people who you're supposed to trust. She acts like she isn't attached to anybody, but she obviously is. Then she gets attached to David, and then that whole thing changes their entire situation. Then, after that, this is the coolest part about Lucy to me. She literally spent those time skip years after finding out that he was literally going to be a case study for Arasaka, killing off all the data that would have affected David's life. And she did that so that David could live. Now the problem is that she did that in a way that was selfish, and it was very much like David, where David was like, I'm gonna do what I want to do to save you, and you can't help me do it, and she did the same thing. And the problem is, if they probably just would have had a conversation and decided to work together, it wouldn't have to be that way.
Yep.
But it didn't go that way
Communication is so key at this point.
They were just doing things both selfishly and stupidly, and that is kind of where my problem lies with Lucy, and why I could never get with her, is because you had this young boy in a way where you could literally have shaped him and waited until he was already too far gone in psychosis to try to help. And if you love someone like that, the way you quotation marks, then you should have been able to save. She literally waited until I had the quotation mark, because that really stressed me out, because she really waited until after he was like shaking, trying to hold the implants, in order to be like, oh well, you know. And no, you should have been trying to help him instead. And
it's true, because the truth came out at the end, and it's just like she indirectly killed this man.
Yes. Yeah, because remember,
She got caught doing something.
She got caught doing something, trying to save him without telling him, and in doing so, put his whole life in danger. That's what happened.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny, memories though, and Pillars. I think what's funny is that like,
Pillars.
Surface wise, is like, why don't I like you? This is where I was. I was like, why don't I like you? Because you remind me of Rei Ayanami from Evangelion. But I love her. Why don't I like you? And it's like, I think it's because of everything you just said. It's like, they didn't, the anime was amazing. Obviously, it's just difficult for perfection. You get what I'm saying? Like, perfection is difficult to get.
Of course.
And I think they fell short with Lucy as a character. Not as a whole. Like, granted, she's there, she's decent or whatever. But like, in the terms of like, I think it's once you hit a meter, it's like, yo, yes, this anime, do this now. Yes, you did this. Oh my god, the music. Yes, you did this. Now do this with the other character, supporting character. No, you fell short with that one. You guys are like, yes, because at the end of the day, and maybe it's because I'm possibly comparing her to Rei again from Evangelion, but it's like, you can make a stoic character still be full. Rei was full. There's so much to get from Rei. I think we could have got a lot more from Lucy that we just didn't get. You get what I'm saying? And granted, yes, it was limited. It was 10 episodes, but shoot, if you watch the 4 movies, they did that with the 4 movies. I think we could have got a little bit more from Lucy. I just feel like we could have. We got a good amount, decent. No, we got a decent amount, but I think we could have got more from Lucy.
I just feel that Lucy's character is also them kind of like continuing the cycle even for Lucy herself. So even though he saves Lucy and she makes it out, her continuing the cycle will either hopefully break it in this next part of her life or not, because all she had to do was communicate with him instead of trying to be super secretive. Because she took Kiwi's words to heart, because she said when Kiwi was like, remember, never trust anyone in Night City. She wasn't even trusting David. She wouldn't tell David what was going on. And because of her distrust in the person that she loved, his life was ultimately thrown away. Because remember when they had the argument? Do you remember the episode when they had the argument when they kind of broke up? Remember?
Yeah.
It was at that moment he was just, if she would have said what she was doing, it would have changed everything.
Yeah, you guys are gonna make me see this anime in a different light right now. Now I'm just like,
if she would have,
I don't know what I hate more. I know Ed was like always on his I hate Rachel bullshit. Well, not that it was bullshit; it was justified because I
love
it.
Rachel.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
or the same level of hating Gabby.
No, but I don't hate Lucy. I'm just like, I just wish that she would have just said something, because that moment was so big.
But now it's like,
each character behaving the way they behaved made the show.
It's very simple.
I feel like if you switch some of these characters' personalities, it's not the same. Obviously, it's not the same show. It's not the same show.
You don't think a little bit more seasoning on Lucy would have?
Come on, man. Lucy was Lucy. She was herself.
She was, but she was still
from the other show.
She's a broken ass person, because remember, she never had like anything.
All of them
she could have been what Date's saying, but at the same time, like, this is what makes her, man.
No, but I'm not. But I didn't say change who she was. I'm just saying, if you're saying if you are going to do certain things, and you could see her like fumbling over herself. She was fumbling over herself at a time when she fumbled over David and fumbled David technically, and got picked up by a different direction in life. And I'm just like, it was weird because she decided to love him in a real way when she was freaking out when he was going to save Maine. Remember before Maine died? Remember she sat there in the car freaking out and how mad she got when he got kidnapped in the first place?
She waited for him.
She did all that, right? To show the change in her, but then like got to this point and was like, this change wasn't, I ain't with it. I'm just like, yo, what? Now was the time you should have said something. But like her acting the way she acted, of course, made the show what it was. But I'm not adding or changing her character. I'm not saying she should have acted differently. But I'm saying she was already doing this already. So why didn't she just keep doing it, weirdo? Like that's all I'm saying. Like,
well, yeah, I wouldn't change it, but I'm just saying that there are what ifs. It's just like, what if she did communicate that idea to him? Like they could have acted as, I guess, a couple and took care of business, and maybe he would not have gone that far, gone that deep.
No, well, the fact that Kiwi raised her the way she did, like, I mean, you know, makes sense.
It does.
But she was still doing things out of what? Out of affection for this man,
Yeah.
So that means she would have.
Yeah, if you're already going against Kiwi, you're already going against what Kiwi told you. You might as well just keep going. Right? I understand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was a lot of times where like there were things these characters were learning lessons from and changing, and then just like once Maine died, like they all just stopped listening to any lessons that they ever got.
Actually, I was most pissed about Maine's death than anybody's.
No, Maine hurt me too. I liked him a lot. Maine hurt me.
I mean, but that could just go to the dynamic of that. Now this guy is dead. Look what happened to the crew. You know what I'm saying?
No, exactly, 100%.
They could have just.
It fell apart.
That would have been weird if they would have just been like literally the same exact thing when that guy left. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. I think the show is, I think it's really good, man. The writing and everything, how the events played out.
Definitely agree.
It's a little different. I mean, you can see things other way, but at the same time, I feel like the way everything played out was perfect for the show to turn out the way it is.
I'm gonna encourage.
There's not much things I would want to change.
I'm gonna encourage you guys once again. Watch Gundam Iron Blood. Check it out, man. Like it hits it, bro. I'm telling you, one of the best animes I've ever seen. And it's mecha.
Here we go. I knew he was gonna say it. I was like,
that's why I kind of stray away from a lot of anime because I'm not really big into mecha.
Yo, Iron Blood, like it's like this. It hits.
The only mecha I really watched was Zoids, faithfully.
If you're looking for like those serious, dramatic, being an anime but still hitting those milestones, kind of drama and emotion. This is it. Iron Blood, man. I'm telling you. It's just it's wild to me, bro.
On the list arena.
Seriously, I'm not playing with that anime. Not a joke.
And I'm not playing with that
anime. And I'm again, like it's not necessarily that I'm like, yo, they wrote it terribly or nothing like that. But like again, it's just me. I think that the problem is I'm very much an optimist. And I always want to see people succeeding in a way that just makes sense. And I feel like all the lessons that he learned, if he just actually applied them, the group wouldn't be the same once he died. The group would be better once he died because he should have took a lot of things Bane was trying to put inside of him and use it in a way that was just made sense. And because of like, I guess him staying in that circle and understand, and I guess Ed said this the best way, because he could never fill the void, he could never apply those lessons because those lessons kind of just fell into the hole where there was nothing else for them to fill or create, and it just stayed that way. And it just hurt me that was the case because obviously those lessons could make you better, and that's kind of the lessons of life, right? Either you learn from experience, whether you apply it or not is what makes it wisdom, correct? And I think that was what we see happening in the show, and that's why I just said when Maine died, you realize that everybody kind of reverted back to their normals because they couldn't deal with that trauma, and like, and that's kind of just where it was. And so that's what I'm putting there. So like again, it's not like the writing was terrible. I just as Travis was said, you just rooting for him to come out and win. And a lot of that, like I watched it happen, and I was just like, bro, obviously you had the answers. It's like knowing that person that grew up with you in the hood who made all the decisions wrong when they had all the talent. It's like that. That's literally what it was. He went to school and he was one of the smartest kids in the school, even though he didn't want to go. He was literally one of the smartest kids there, just didn't want to go. Then he's super technically advanced and just apt because he can use the sand deficit better than anybody else could, and he was already young. So then we found out that not only he was young and could do that, we found out his body and literally himself as a person could do it better because of the way that they looked up his body in scouting, and we know that he could do it. He had all the things that lined up to make him succeed and refused to take those choices and ended up dying in a way that just left me feeling like, damn, bro, you really could do so much. And it's that same feeling about people who come from like the hood. You know what I'm saying?
I think he really tried to live up to his quote unquote dad.
Which is why I don't like the word potential, bro. Potential don't mean crap.
Chill with I mean, freaking.
It's not. But it's not that. It's like he had so much respect for Maine in such a short amount of time. And like I said, he needed a father figure, and he found that in Maine. And he tried to instantly pull up the reins of what Maine did. When he saw that Faraday was contacting him, he instantly took it because he knew that Maine had connections with this dude, and that's who he was running jobs through. So, and the only way that he could get stuff done is through that, Maurice, Stand Vista. That's what gave him Stand Devastan. I just need to see it and I'll remember. But anyways, but I'm still gonna keep calling it that. So he saw that and he's just like, yo, this is what I got to do to pull everybody together and to do what exactly my father was doing. You know, he wanted to be him. He wanted his hands. He wanted Maine's hands. You know, he was like, yo, whatever. After he passes that, he wants to do it. Maine said whatever he had to say to him, but he knew that that's what he wanted to do. He did want to be the leader, and he felt like that one specific ability was going to give him the, you know, I guess the reins or whatever, just that leadership. And he relied on that too much, and that's what kind of just killed him in his, you know.
I'll even say this though: leadership in itself, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Leadership itself is possibly what made Maine go for quicker into psychosis, because, like. You got to remember, there's just stress with having to know the next move and
having to have the right answers all the time. And
remember, look at the word that they chose to use for the show, anime, and game: psychosis, psycho, psyche, psychosomatic. Like, it's just all about the mental, and it's a breakdown and all of that stuff. I'll even go further to say this, and this is probably my last point. Kiwi probably wouldn't even have done what she did if Maine was still there.
100%.
I'm gonna leave that.
My boy held shit down.
But I mean, truth be told, I think his mom like had a lot more influence on him than we think so too. Because remember in the beginning, I don't know if it was a lot of emphasis on it, but like, I think he replayed the memory in his head, and obviously we saw it when his mom was like that. Yo, like, you know, like I'm busting my ass
more than once.
I'm getting these crazy devices. Because how she even get the San Visto, the mango
feast?
She
was stealing it while she was on the job.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So she was doing crazy stuff to try to, you know, for him. And I guess that's probably why he ended up, you know, getting the vial jars at the end and doing whatever.
That's a good point too, though. That probably made it like okay in his own mind to like, all right, this is the life I can accept because my mom was doing this shit too.
Maybe that's probably why he was always staring at the container with his mom's ashes in. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had no money to bury the lady. He had to burn her and put it in the
About to give you an alley-oop right now, Ed. He's the anime version of Raising Kanan.
Smoked.
That's some power crap right there. That's exactly power. Yeah. Raising Kanan.
Bro. I mean, it's a lot to take in, and again, I was really hurt watching it, and a lot of those, like, I guess, let down potential moments, I guess, make the anime different, I suppose, but it definitely hurt me in a way, and I couldn't get with it. After Main died, like I said, every episode to me, I was just upset. Until it ended.
You gotta stop being salty when you watch anime, man. That's not. Come on, man. Every time a character dies or whatever,
my thing was
his favorite character died. He like, nah, F the show. Man,
but Main dying. Main wasn't my favorite character at all. I like Main.
I was just saying that because at this certain points.
Yeah, I know. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, then I don't watch. But no, but it wasn't that though. The reason why I couldn't after that it bothered me is because of the way that everybody else acted after he passed, and again, that's just kind of me in general. Like I said, that's just me. Like, I know it's a Date thing where, like, I expect you to try and do the best with what you're given, and if you don't, I'm like, why would you do that? I just absolutely get frustrated, especially watching anime, because I'm just like, freck it, you freaking dummy, because I see the whole story. Like, the character don't see the whole story. I see the whole story. Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's just like, come on, man. But again, I'm not gonna like rewater that same plant. Thank you guys for sitting with us and for watching us talk about Cyberpunk Edgerunners. And we hope that you watch it, even though we done spoiled all of it for you. But we hope that we talked about it enough that you want to know more about the characters that we discussed and the characters we didn't discuss. Because I ain't really talk about Rebecca. Oh,
or
shoot,
her
no,
brother.
I gotta do this real quick. Rebecca is amazing. And she's that character that's loyal to you no matter what. And when she died, and I have to give this to Ed because I didn't even think about it until he said it. Rebecca's death made me upset because literally I said to myself since I met her, I was like, and not met her, but since I seen her on the show, I was like, when Rebecca dies, if Rebecca dies, we riot. But I'm gonna tell you what happened. What Ed said made more sense. Rebecca's death was very important because it showed her loyalty to David no matter what. And even if she couldn't have David, she was going to protect everything that David wanted to protect. She died protecting Lucy.
Even though she loved, wow,
she's the shit, bro.
That's what got me.
And
it wasn't until Ed said it.
On that last mission or anything, she was there, bro.
And she was the one. She was the one giving him the drugs to keep him sane, right? She was
on,
literally
yeah,
with him,
joints.
shooting in the gym. She was there the whole time.
Yeah,
and I didn't think about how important that was until Ed said it, and I was like, oh shoot, he's right. Her death was important. But I just had to throw out there for Rebecca because pour one out for Rebecca, man. All right.
Before we go, there's one more topic on this that we gotta touch.
Do it.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, scale of 1 to 10.
What's y'all rating on the show? I'll go first since I'm bringing it up. I got 2 ratings. I got a biased one, and then I got my bigger. Damn, I forgot what I called it. The grand scheme of things rating. My bias rating is a 10 out of 10.
Wow, that's
I loved it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was amazing. When I finished the show, I was like, yo, this might be one of the greatest animes I've ever watched.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I loved it a lot. But my grand scheme of things, unbiased rating is like an 8, maybe 7 points. I'll say 7.78. But my bias rating is a 10.
I think my rating usually it tends to be unbiased, but sometimes I can separate, like if I do it like Rocky. So unbiased.
You didn't have to do a bias unbiased, okay? I just had 2 ratings, that's why.
Okay, so just rating in general, what I believe it should be and what I think it should be, because it hits those notes. I think it definitely hits 9. It's 9 with production, with music choice, with characters, with the amount of episodes it has, and it's what's it called? It's carry, but I'm not using the right word.
Like the progression.
Yeah. But what I'm looking for, you know, what I'm talking about, like it was good with it. It's pace.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's kind of
really good. So I think it just hit everything right. Especially like the fact that it's coming from a non-favorable game. It's really like, I don't know if it's prequel or sequel, but whatever it is, it did what it had to do to be a better grade than whatever was in front of it first. So that in itself is just phenomenal too.
I believe it's a prequel.
It's a prequel, right?
It has to be because Adam Smasher.
Yeah. So when I look at all those things, characters, plot, story, emotion, drama, cyberpunk, the genre it chose, the music, I have to give it a 9.5. 9.5 biased, 9 unbiased.
Nope.
So I'm not mad at IMDb's rating. It's a
what
good.
They gave it?
8.5. Not bad.
Okay, yeah, that's not. Yeah, anything above 8 to me is not bad.
Yeah.
Nope.
Without the music, 8. With the music, 8.5.
I mean, that's actually fair because to me, music plays a lot inside, like the background music.
I'm telling you, the soundtracks I just listened to, I was like, yo, it just made watching and listening so much better. There's some choices for different animes. I'm like, yo, this is a piece of shit because of what they chose, but just because of what I was listening to, I was like, yo, this is great that they decided to pick shit like this. It was just so good. I think the expression of the culture, the futuristic culture, like I said, like these guys did a great. Whoever thought about this, or whoever how far ahead they thought, like I said, I feel like they really have a very good eye for what's to come in the future as an actual, life.
That's a possibility.
Right. I feel like it's very close to what could happen. The story was good. I felt a very good feel for the main character. I don't really care for main characters like that, but I thought the main character was cool as hell. And I wasn't that upset that he died. I saw it and it's just like I accepted it when he accepted like that he was dying because he knew he was dying for a good reason in his own heart, for someone that he loved. So I couldn't be mad that if he died for a different reason that was shittier, I'd be like, damn, that was pretty shit, kind of crappy. But he died for a very good reason, and I do accept that. So I would just go ahead, like I said, give it an 8.5. It is one of the better animes that I've seen lately. You guys know I don't really watch anime, but I stuck it out to the end. And they told a great story in a very limited amount of episodes, which a lot of people cannot do. And a lot of animes cannot do that. So, like I said in the beginning of the episode, I don't care if they come out with a second season because I feel like it was already done well in one.
They shouldn't. It's one of those.
There's no need
it
to.
Better be a completely different story.
It's a.
That's to say, you would need a whole new cast, and it's just like even if they
should
continued
do.
with Lucy, it would just be stupid in my opinion. Like her story or her ending ended well. She was able to achieve her dream because of the man that loved her, and she still had him in essence. Like I said, when she was it showed a younger version of David, the version of David that she initially fell in love with.
Well,
so I think that was a beautiful ending.
Well, that's that's an homage to the game because you're allowed to replay certain memories sometimes. So she can always replay seeing him there on the moon with her from when they were there together.
And I feel like that's a ploy into like the technology that's to come, later on in days when someone is actually gone or whatever, you can replay. I mean, as opposed to like videos and stuff like that, maybe you could play it throughout your mind.
Well, those are brain dances. They actually did brain dances in the anime in the beginning. Remember he was saying he was pushing those brain dances for people? That's what those are. So literally what you're saying, and that's in the video game very heavy. I guess for me, it's a 7. It's a 7.5. Because of the music and because of the use and the expression of the world and the game culture, it pushed itself to an 8, I think, overall. But for me, it's a 7.5. And so I guess that's what it is. That's what it is to me. I can't go over everything else I already said, but that's literally how I have it sitting.
Are you still going?
I was about to close it out. Do you think, Trav? What you gonna say?
Yeah, I got 2 things to bring up. I'm gonna encourage, because I don't know how often Nobunaga checks out cyberpunk genres. I just encourage.
Talking about Gundam?
Well, no, Cyberpunk, because Gundam is not really Cyberpunk. Gundam is just mecha. Cyberpunk.
Are we talking about the game in itself?
No, Cyberpunk genre, like those.
Oh, okay.
Mangas and animes. Like I think you'll see more of that futuristic stuff that you're talking about for this if you check out more Cyberpunk stuff. Like in that, like.
Is Cyberpunk a specific genre? Like
it is. It's a specific.
Okay.
Yeah. So I encourage you to check it out, and I think you'll like it. It's funny. Your background is kind of very much Cyberpunk.
Yes, very Cyberpunk.
The BioShock.
Yeah. And 2, last thing is I'm still waiting for one of the Netflix animes that we always enjoyed, but we didn't talk about it on here on the podcast. Ed knows what I'm talking about. Ed, what's the anime with the dude and the sister, and they're like playing a game kind of thing? They're trying to survive. They met up with a guy who has like a hat on. You know what I'm talking about?
I do, my bad.
Man,
this is
I know what I'm talking about, Maurice.
No Game,
No Life.
Is it called No Game, No Life? Is that what it is?
That's what Mike says.
Is that the anime?
I never watched that. If that's the anime.
And it's a Netflix. It's specifically a Netflix. Yeah, you have. No, it's not that. It's not that. But we'll talk about it here. But I'm just waiting.
Have you watched Akudama Drive, Travis? Goose?
No.
That's a cyberpunk anime, and that one's actually pretty good too.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
That one, I know.
I think I
it's
saw
on
that.
Hulu. It's not bad. And it's similar to this. It's just 12 episodes. It's a short anime, but it was pretty good.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
Is that where they like try to rob that train or something like that?
I don't remember if they try to. I think they do try to rob the train, but yes, yeah.
It was like
does
going
involve
into
a
like
train.
some weird like void area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. That one was pretty good.
All right,
And
I'm
it's
done.
Cyberpunk.
We can close now.
He's I'm done.
Anything, Maurice?
Thank you guys,
Before ads.
bro. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sitting with us as we talk to Cyberpunk Edgerunners again.
What's this?
Bro, we thought it was a fantastic anime, and we hope that you would watch it again. and that you would take the time to literally go through the characters with us. As you can see, we don't just talk about the flashy stuff in anime. We talk about everything about it, from the writing to the world to the music to how everything intertwines and how it makes the very product that we want to watch and share with you, and to share these conversations with you. So we hope that the next time you watch anime, you think of the pillars and how we talk about it, and that you might see something new in those anime. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe, as this will be on YouTube. If you've been with us on Twitch, thank you for watching us live. And as always, above these things, do something that makes your life better and help out somebody else. And that way, you might find a betterness in life in itself. So, enjoy anime, read some manga, be a nerd. And above all these things, stay nerdy, my friends. Johnny.